So not too long ago, we saw Sam Harris, one of the biggest Patreon earners on Patreon, just jump ship and now accepts donations at, I think it is samharris.com/donate or something like that. But there was that was a big hit, the fact that he left. And now we're seeing something that we've been hearing about for a while, but it's finally happened, or at least it will as of January 15th. Both Jordan Peterson and Dave Rubin are also leaving the platform. Now, Rubin Report, I thought they were much higher on the list, but actually, when I went through the different rankings here of the top patrons on Patreon, Dave Rubin was actually number 181. So, I mean, the fact that Dave Rubin's leaving is a much bigger hit for Dave Rubin than it is for Patreon, but every little bit counts, I suppose. So the fact that he's leaving, I highly respect that. Anyone leaving Patreon while losing money, is losing a ton of money. That, I can't, regardless of their political views, I can't help but respect that. But Peterson, too, is also leaving, and I can't believe I just forgot where it was, is number 14 here. Number 14, highest earner on Patreon or not necessarily highest earner, but most patrons, with over 8,000 patrons here. So he's leaving now, and it looks like they're planning on creating some kind of alternative platform, whether they're going to find another platform and fund that one and talk it up and promote it, or if they're in the works with programmers to create one from scratch. I have no idea, but that's what's in the works now, to create a Patreon competitor. Now, this is I actually just clicked on a few people here earlier, and some of these people I even tried to click on the non-political ones, and it's very interesting to see the number of patrons just kind of take a dump right around November, December of last year. It's very interesting to see that even the non-political people are taking a big hit here, and this is good. This is good because it seems that a lot of these political, the political action, whether on the left or the right, whatever ideology, it seems that when they take a hit and when they try to put their money where their mouth is, I should say, overall the businesses are it's a fly, it's a mosquito. It's a little annoying, but it's not really anything big because they have so much money that when they get hit like this, even though it's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars that they're losing, it's still not that much. So the fact that both of these people are leaving, the fact that Sam Harris left at number 11 and Peterson at number 14 is big. Now, I did go back to November of 2018. You'll notice there's a reason I'm not on the now button. I'm back in November because I want to go back before this all happened. I want to go back before people were jumping ship, because obviously, I didn't even see where Peterson was on the now version, but I'm just going to take a random guess and say he's probably not number 14, considering one, Sam Harris is gone. I'm just going down this list now. He's down at number 33. So this is something to remember, that it's not like Patreon is losing number 33. They're losing number 14, because the reason Peterson has plummeted is because so many people have jumped ship, and the fact that he's leaving means it's an extension of that. This isn't something that would have happened if Patreon had never taken action. Now, Tim Pool is another one that he does some good stuff. I don't watch him that much, but he does good stuff when I do watch him, and he's lost over $5,000 per month. And now again, for Patreon, is that $5,000? No, I think they take 5%, I can't remember exactly, but they take they take a little bit of that, and that adds up. The more money that people pull out from patrons, that little bit of money that Patreon takes starts to really add up. So it looks like, again, Subscribestar, I know a lot of people actually have been acting like Subscribestar is just gone, they've been defeated and that's it, they've completely forgotten about it, but that's not the case. Remember that Subscribestar is kind of temporarily down, but they're coming back. It's not something where they've been defeated. They will be back. They're just currently in the works of working around the PayPal ban, so they're not gone. Don't forget about them. They're not gone. But the fact that Peterson and Rubin are leaving, that's a bigger thing, and it's something that we need to all keep in mind, that you got to make this as hard of a hit as possible, because while I do think this was ideological, we're still trying to figure out who exactly did this. We're still trying to figure out who is influencing this kind of thing. Is it Patreon themselves? Is it someone within Patreon? Is it the organization as a whole? Is it Jack Conte, the CEO? Who is actually making the decision? Because this is a bad business decision. Now, unless there's something they know, I haven't looked at the books, but this seems to be a bad business decision. And the interesting thing is, who made this decision? Who was it? I've seen some rumors that it was MasterCard, actually, that MasterCard has been, strong-arming them. Yeah. and influencing them, saying, hey, like, you guys need to cut service with these people because we don't want to be associated with anyone that has any associations with these people. That's some rumors I've seen, that it's supposedly MasterCard. Now, how true that is, like, I think it could be possible. In fact, I think it's probably likely. But I haven't seen any, like, definite proof. Or if it is out there, I haven't seen it yet. And then there's also some rumors. I think even Peterson was one person that had it in his description. I'll see if I can find it because I don't want to do this mid-video. But yeah, there was something. Here it is. Change the term stuff. Change the terms. This is something that has been really, like, going around recently. This is something that when I went on this site earlier, there's links at the bottom here. Not links, but logos, I should say. They've got the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights, the Center for American Progress, stuff like that, and most notably the Southern Poverty Law Center here at the bottom right. This seems to be an organization, some kind of, like, activist organization that's out to stop hate speech, that's out to get rid of hate speech. And there is some rumors that apparently change the terms. This group has been the one that's been lobbying either Patreon or MasterCard or whoever's behind this. There is some rumors that this is the group that's behind it. I don't know how true this is because I have not heard of this before. Like, I have not heard of this thing. So, or before like 3 days ago, I believe, which makes me wonder because how powerful is this group really? Like, if they have been influencing things, or if they've been at least trying to influence things, are they just a small part of a whole? Do they have connections? I don't know. Like, I'm not going to start theorizing because I don't have anything for sure, and I haven't seen anything for sure. But this is one website that's been going around lately that apparently this group has been pushing things. And as you can see, like, they're backed by some pretty big organizations, even though I've never heard of Change the Terms itself until recently. But that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, the fact that they're losing, like, big people here. Okay, apparently I can't get back to the Patreon list. Whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole point of this video, is to say they're leaving. That's a good thing. Honestly, if you want to help, like, if you want to help, I guess, if you want to show that, if you want to voice your opinion and say this is a bad thing that it's happening, are you still on Patreon is the big question. Are you still using Patreon? Do you know anyone that's using Patreon? Anyone that you like? Anyone that, like, you're part of their Discord group and they use Patreon, even if you don't actually donate to them? What you can do is, like, send them an email, send them a text, or however you can contact them, post in their Discord, whatever. Send them something saying, you guys don't have to leave Patreon. You guys don't have to, like, jump ship. But, because, like, if I were to, like, the reason I'm not saying don't leave Patreon is if you just come out and say, leave Patreon, and they're non-political or whatever, they're going to say, screw you. Like, why would I lose all my money? But you got to remember, people can have two accounts. Like, they can have a Patreon and a Subscribestar account. So what you can do is go to these people, like, send them a nice message, be very polite, say, like, hey, I support your stuff. Like, I'm a big fan. Whether you're supporting them or not, let them know, like, hey, Subscribestar is a thing. Like, if you open an account, it takes a few minutes. Open an account, or here's another site if you know of one that's not Patreon. Say, hey, here's a nice, like, site where you can earn money. Like, you don't have to pick one. You can do both. Do that. And I think that will, at the very least, even if they open that up and don't get rid of Patreon, they're still kind of diversifying their income. Then anyone that chooses Subscribestar, or, again, whatever, I'm just picking them, anyone that chooses them over Patreon is an extra bit of money that's going to that organization instead of Patreon. I think that is very, like, that's a big thing. Or, obviously, if you are someone that does donate to them, and you're like, I want to help them out, but I want to donate to these people, but I don't want to support Patreon, just let them know. Like, say, hey, I really want to give you money. Like, whether you're an artist or a gamer or, like, some kind of other creator, like YouTuber, whatever you do that's not, even if it's not politics, let them know. It's like, hey, I would gladly support you on this platform, but I can't support you on Patreon. And, like, it all comes down to money, right? And, like, obviously, Patreon lost a bit of money here, but overall, it was such a small drop in the bucket that they could afford to make that decision. Now, but money still has influence. Like, if this would have cut a lot of, like, if say the top 100 Patreon creators or whatever would have all jumped ship at once, then sure, like, I can tell that if Patreon would have figured that out, they never would have made that decision because it cost too much money. But I'm sure they probably did the math somewhere, and they said, hey, we're probably going to come out okay, or at least relatively neutral, if we cut these people, or if we cut this person, so no big deal. But that's all what it comes down to. It's like, you got to do something. If you're really interested, if you're really wanting to stop this, then you have to put your money where your mouth is, or you have to at least say something, not out into the ethos of Twitter, not just out on whatever social media page you have, but like let the people you like know that use Patreon, hey, there are other sites out there. And if you're willing, like, hey, I'll give you money on these other, even if it's like $1 or something, I'll give you support here, as long as it's not Patreon. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more. Share it around. Let people know about this. And thanks for watching.